Blox Fruits was actually called Blox Peace. That's how you would take a boat out to explore the oceans and hunt for sea beasts. And they had a completely cursed appearance from the one you know today. It didn't look like a sea beast. It looked like a very ugly pupae. And these are the first versions of Blox Fruits that a Blox Fruits player has ever seen. This is the first Navy or pirate screen. This is the first version of the Dark Blade that was added to the game. And do you know what they all have in common? It's either been changed or removed from Blox Fruits. Because today, I'm going to show you over 25 things that have been changed that I'm 99.9% sure you didn't know about. Starting with the fruit spin. This was the first NPC that you could spin fruit, and if you noticed, he was called Blox Fruits' dealer cousin and wore a very formal outfit. The portal fruit we know wasn't always the one in my hand. First it was called door fruit, and it was green like this with the top lid open like a door. It cost 950,000 Baileys. Completely inspired by Dodo Anomi from One Piece, and it worked like this on Blox Fruits. Quite a meme, in fact, right? Then it was reworked and renamed Portal, the one we already know. Do you know where this square was inspired by? This one, which is a cube from a company called Aperture Science. There are also boats that have been removed from Blox Fruits. The first is the free Game Pass boat that had these two engines on the back. The second boat that was removed was Ace Boat. In the past, you could buy the Disney boat for 5,000 Baileys, and if you came to the factory, in one of those windows would be located the NPC Frank. And this NPC cyborg would sell you the 1,000 Sunny boat for 1,500 fragments. And of course, this is one of the boats I miss the most from Blox Fruits as a whole. After all, it's very similar to Luffy's ship from Straw Hat. This boat, on the other hand, is the rarity of rarities. The Christmas boat. This is a boat. It's a Fiat Uno in disguise. This boat has never been seen again in the history of Blox Fruits, and it could be obtained at an old Christmas event. This is the Kilo Fruit, the worst Blox Fruits fruit of all time. And the funniest attack of this fruit for sure was to summon the umbrella that made its user fly through the air. And do you know why this wonderfully bad fruit was removed from Blox Fruits? Because it closely resembled the One Piece user who used the same fruit. And that could lead to copyright issues for Blox Fruits. So it had to be removed. Blox Fruits also had a Spectator mode, and to activate this mode, you had to give a key command, the command Shift plus P. This would allow you to leave your characters and go for a walk in Spectator mode. And guess what? People obviously used it to do everything. See if the boss was alive, look for fruit on the map, look for NPCs to defeat, and everything else you can think of. Even find bugs. This one is a weird NPC called the Death King, located here in the Sea Castle of C3. But did you know that he was also in C1 and C2? In C2, he was located in the cemetery. Exactly. I think that's a good place to hide a weird NPC like this at the entrance to the cave. In C1, this weirdo was located on the central island, right at the fountains. Unfortunately, the weirdo was removed from C1 and C2, and today you can only find this crazy old man in C3. These are dark fragments of Blox Fruits. I'm currently at 49,000, but did you know that in the past there was no such thing as a dark fragment but another item that represented it? This item was called Rare Artifact. That's right, it dropped from Blackbeard. And with this item, a rare artifact, you could use it to do lots of things, like resetting your status, buying Luffy's boat, and even rotate your race, just like the fragment does today. This is NPC Torch, the famous NPC who watches Lucas's videos in the cafeteria. Just kidding. And you can talk to him to switch races. However, he wasn't always like this. He used to be like this. Look at this NPC's face. His name was Norp, not Torch. This is one of the poneglyphs from One Piece. A stone with scriptures that tell the story of the lost century. And in Update 13, there was a poneglyph on Snow Mountain. This stone was so dark, but so dark that in order to see the scriptures, I had to Photoshop it and lighten it. And this is the result. If anyone can read poneglyphs these days, I'd love to know what it means. Email me. Nowadays, it's very easy to access the inventory. Just click on menu, items, and that's it. You have access to your entire inventory. But did you know that Blox Fruits didn't used to be like that? There was no such thing as an inventory accessible at any time and from anywhere. In fact, you had to find one of these chests which were located at specific points on the map. And then you talk to it on the side where you had what you'd already stored, and on the other, what you wanted to store. And the Dark Blade wasn't always like this. The first Dark Blade was like this. Oh my gosh, you wonderful thing. It looked just like Mihawk. It was later altered to look like this. Who also remembers this old avatar of mine? This is the Spirit Fruit. Also one of the fruits that had one of the most incredible bugs of all time. Basically, it worked like this. You summoned spirits when the bar was on the blue side. Then, before the spirits disappeared, you changed fruit and went back to spirit. And then you kept doing this over and over again. The result is that the spirits would give me so much speed buff that it was cumulative, and you got absurd speed. Even faster than a Mink V4 wearing a pilot's helmet. I missed that bug! Also, I'll let you in on a little secret. I bought my spirit perm just to do this. But before, this fruit wasn't the fruit of the spirits, but the fruit of the soul. Just like in the anime. But then you already know the rest. Blox Fruits obviously had to remove it, because otherwise they'd be sued for copyright. But the coolest thing about the old days was the last skill of this fruit. Man, that had to come back. Urgent! Yeah, I really preferred the soul fruit to the spirit fruit. Nowadays at the Blox Fruits vendor, we can buy fruit worth up to 8 million bellies. It wasn't like that in the old days. The most valuable fruit in the store back then was the Buddha fruit, which cost 800,000 bellies. And the maximum level at the time was 300, not 2,550 as it is today. In the past, there was a bug where beginner players could access C3. Think about how much these players took advantage of that to steal as quickly as possible to the maximum level. That's a lot of cheating. However, unfortunately today, to give damage to the C2 boss, Hippie Indra, you have to be at least level 1,500. Otherwise, you won't be able to give damage to this NPC. And obviously, you won't be able to change C. One of the things that used to be completely bizarre was this. We're in a safe zone. Okay, cafeteria. Samuka, come here.
That's good.
If I got into a fight and went back to the cafeteria, I'd be back in the safe zone and no one could attack me anymore. Do you believe that, Samuka?
That's a bit unfair. The guy would run out of lives and go into hiding.
Exactly. Runaways would have even more benefits than they already have today. However, this was removed in Update 6, and to this day, if you attack someone, my friend, you'll suffer the consequences and won't be able to return to the safe zone. Another curiosity that has been removed from Blox Fruits has to do with the Xyolis. Currently, our favorite scammer NPC wears black pants. I doubt you noticed this, but before, the bastard wore white pants. That useless thing. You needed to know. I'm sure that many of the things I've shown you here, you had no idea existed in Blox Fruits, right? Yeah, neither did I. It's just that now, I've been researching these crazy things. I'm tired and need a coffee. A hug from your friend Lucas. God bless you. Bye-bye.